Hello, I'm going to speak about reporting your professional development in this video. The professional development requirements for all registrants are currently a minimum of 30 PD hours annually, with a 3-year minimum of 125 over a 3-year period. So an average of 42 PD hours per year. This information is when you click under your PD reports, under My Links. Once you've signed in, then this information will appear. So what you will also see once you click under My Reports is the total PD hours from the last 3 years. This was not included in the previous website. This automatically calculates how many PD hours you have entered over the past 3 years. And the 3 years include the current year and the previous 2 years. So in this case, it is 2020, 2021, and 2022. So if I clicked in here, right now, it defaults to show just the single year, but you can filter your search to include 3 years. And when you do that, then those years will, all of those entries under those years will appear with the total there, which matches up here. So you can check, for instance, that how many PD hours you reported for 2021 and that kind of thing. So when you do go to your PD reports, it is defaulted to go to just the current year. So within the new website, the professional development reporting has been separated into 4 sections. We have the professional practice, continuing education, the contribution service and completions declarations, and a new area called the BCIA event confirmations. So under the professional practice, as noted within the PD guidelines, you can declare no more than 10 PD hours. So if I entered 11 PD hours for 2022, it would pop up with an error on it. If I look, I can look at what my entry was for this, and so if I've only entered partially and I need to edit, I can view what I've entered here. I've entered that I've done part-time work, teaching, but if that needs to be changed, you can edit that and change that within the 1 year. But so it can only be one entry. You can't do a second entry under professional practice. You have to make the adjustment under the one entry. Under continuing education, you can do multiple entries under that category, but in many cases, for instance, if you've done a series of webinars under a specific topic, then what you can do is enter the topics at the topic and the date range of those webinars, and then a short explanation of how long each of those webinars might have been and the topics and what kind of knowledge, agrology related knowledge that you gain from those webinars. So if you don't have to enter one after another of 30-minute webinars. You can list those and put them under one topic. Or you can do a single entry of a specific event, and that's so in this case, this entry was 1 PD hour as a webinar on a specific date and what that webinar was about. So you have a choice of how to enter that information under continuing education. As well, then under and under the continuing education, you will also notice that now there is the type of continuing education. So you can select from either the general or which may be ethics or business writing or something to that effect, which is a professional development or agrology related activities. And so reference the PD guidelines for definitions between formal and informal. You will also need to enter the title or the topic for that. That is a required field. Dates, now we don't have, it's not a calendar. You can enter a date range. For instance, if you were in a formal course that went from January to June, then you would enter that date range and then a short description within the activity description. So under the contributions and service area, this area has one activity equals one unit. So for instance, professional contributions are activities which provide a service or learning opportunity. So under the type here, it lists the professional contributions. And this, again, reference the PD guidelines for the information under each of these categories. But for instance, if I click on formal instruction, then one activity, for instance, in the case of formal instruction, and presented a course to a group of people, and there were 3 lessons to that course. That is considered one activity, even though there might have been 3 lessons. And so that's 5 PD hours within that. And if you were doing advising, then 1 unit of that equals 2 PD hours. So for instance, one activity, you advised a group of people in one situation for a number of hours, and then a totally different group of people, then you would be doing 2 different activities, 2 units. And so you can list them. If, for instance, under this, you could do a total of 4 PD hours, for instance. Under the professional practice, I've done presentations. There was 2 presentations, a marshland presentation to Ducks Unlimited for July, 2 PD hours, and then a second presentation to a city council on a specific date. So list that information on what you do and that. So provide sufficient information on those. So finally, under the BCIA event confirmation, this is a new section. And if you have registered for an event, then this will come up with a pop-up that will show the list of events that you have registered for. I've already entered that event here, so I no longer have an event registered for, but if I had an event that I had registered within the year, then that will pop up, and then what this does is you must confirm that you actually attended that event. And once you confirm that, then the information and enter a little bit of detail about that event, then save it. Then it appears as, in this case, it was the Kootenai Boundary AGM, and that goes under the professional AGMs category, and I attended the AGM on a specific date. And so the PD hours and the title automatically fill in for that. So you can transfer the information of what events you had registered for, and you can always check back on your event registration section to verify that that information is correct in that. So because here's the information under your event registrations. So it's just important to remember to maintain an accurate record of your professional development hours and activities. And so hopefully this will help guide you through your reporting of your professional development.